the Cheese King, because could just go level 2 mid, but because of the pressure layered out in level 1, he just has to change his mind entirely. It's actually such an easy gank for Jarvan going up against, I mean, having the karma to hold your hand. I think so.
Klid has found Karin. Level 3 to level 3. That's the isolation damage. He leaps away. Yagao. Flick forces Flash.
And that's just really smart play from Klid. Recognize that because of the ward, Jarvan was topside, had to path down towards the bottom lane. Otherwise, he goes topside and has a really ineffective gank. This is going to be really difficult for Karin to impact top lane. So it made sense for Karin to go towards the bottom side of the map. But Klid just got there first, so very smart from him just to recognize how much faster he was to the play. And it was just Karin sleeping. Karin has to recognize that that was not going to be his place to look for a scuttle crab.
And look at how the mid jungle for Yagao and Klid are tracking Karin. Yagao pushes in, immediately steps up and places a ward, spots him out, which allows Zoom to push up that wave up top before falling back.
We've seen this from junglers so often. The moment the matchup starts snowballing against the Jarvan in this instance, that it's so hard for them to ever shake off the enemy jungler. The only real way you can do that is to either get a proper pick if you pull your lane out, or just say, hey, you know what? I need you guys to start shoving. One lane, please start shoving so I don't find myself in a really bad position. He's taking a risk right here. Just because Talia's pushing in, Sion's completely pushed in. If he gets caught, if they know that he's doing Gromp, he dies. But I guess that's the risk you have to take so you can finally get some experience underneath you in this matchup.
Recall will complete as he makes his way back to base, and he is keeping pace with Klid for now, pinging now towards that Krug camp as Marin tries to trade back with Zoom. Finally a tank versus tank in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point in time, Marin should be getting more help. I really love the fact that Karin's risk paid off. So now that he's cleared out the camp, matched up with Kha'Zix, he can go straight back towards top lane, get the Krugs, and then try and gank top lane. So yeah, top lane matchup's going to be important because Marin's advantages that he was taking in game 1 should be meaningful in game 3 if this pathing works out well.
We'll have to see how Klid maneuvers around the map. Karin's out there just a little bit faster because of that recall. Already, lane's now pushing in for Mao and RD. Hook, once again, hitting onto Phage. You already mentioned the cooldown on that bone plating. What a sidestep from RD. He's played Varus all series. He's fully warmed up.
And honestly, if they're going to keep doing that in lane, Thresh looks good. It feels like he's, yeah, sure, you're constantly getting Phage hooked up, but also the damage that follows through from RD, he's so comfortable in doing so. So it would have been good if Braum's Q was able to tag out Varus so then Ezreal can follow through. But because not only is Braum's Q's missing, Thresh is constantly hitting his own.
That one actually hits. That's even the Ignite as well. A Lantern pulls RD back. But there is a ping towards that top half of the map. Take a look at the vision. Korn and Karin could be looking for a duo dive onto Zoom.
Yeah, this is going to be a full trade. Level 6 from Yagao too, so he's looking bottom lane while the top lane play is happening.
They're already setting it up. He flashes away very early. Warden tries, sees it coming. Zoom, can you outplay this? He just ticks over to level 6. Can he get out? Tries to get some damage. Gets a knock-up. Marin goes low, but is still alive. Almost perfectly juggled, and he's forced to clear out the wave. Meanwhile, dive bottom. Phage still with Flash and heal onto Chocho.
Marin is basing as fast as he can so he can get the TP towards the bottom lane. They need to move fast if you're Jingdong.
That's the heal he used. Hook catches on the Phage. He's pulled back in. The Ignite. And Phage goes down. Meanwhile, Mao played back. He's forced to retreat away. Chocho goes low and dies. A flick denies Marin. 2 kills, Jingdong.
So close. TOP was so close to being able to answer the play. Marin was getting there. But the fact that the top lane dive took a little bit longer than he would have wanted to meant that Jingdong were able to get away with robbery. So finally, JD answer it up, and it's just top lane for bottom lane trade.
That will be the kill advantage towards Jingdong in that bottom lane. And look at who those kills went on to. One onto Klid. You said he had to have an impact in this early game. Well, Raz 1-0-1 so far. The other one onto Talia. Yagao 1-0-1 as well.
It's just so hard to find that impact if you're Kha'Zix and your one motive, I suppose, or at least main directive, is to dive a Braum lane. It really needed to be perfect execution, and with how Klid's game 1 execution and dives wasn't looking good, it was suspect for him to look for it in game 3. He tried it, it worked out very well. They waited for the door to come down for Phage before they re-engaged on it. So they were patient enough knowing that they still had a time limit before Marin came down. It was successful, but it was kind of like a scene out of Mission Impossible.
Dun, 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 dun. The door shuts and Jingdong are out. They get that kill on the back of it. Very close. In the meanwhile, Zoom was actually able to push in towards Marin and gets an extra buy-in as he picks himself up a cloth armor and a sapphire crystal to help keep him sustained and laned after that initial dive, after the pressure that Marin was putting down in that laning phase. Already you can see the Phage from Marin as he appears to be going straight for that Black Cleaver.
There we go. Well, it's the usual.
Yeah.
The only thing that isn't the usual, of course, the fact that he went towards Fleet Footwork. So the fact that now, of course, once he has Black Cleaver fully stacked up, or at least gotten for himself, purchased, Fleet Footwork is great for just pure split pushing. So this is likely going to be a game for him where he is going to be in a side lane, has the attack speed of the precision tree, and the top up of just having Fleet Footwork proccing for himself. This is honestly just the go-ahead for him to go towards the Zeal item that we love to see him build for himself in these matchups. So this is going to be Marin Unleashed.
It's a confidence play from TOP. Marin on the split push. We've talked about how difficult it is for lower tier teams to communicate with each other and how the difficulty of split pushing has plagued lower tier LPL teams, even higher tier LPL teams. Seems like only one team can really successfully split push in the league right now, and that's Invictus Gaming with how they communicate and maneuver around the map. And it's not the split pusher that we're worried about, it's the other four.
Yeah.
That being said, that's a late game discussion. TOP making moves in the early game. Clid,
there's a flank forming here.
looking to sneak in. That's the Weaver's Wall. Yagao catches up. He steals it by leaping in. Cataclysm, he flashes away. Knockup catches him. Winter's Blight and concussive blows pins him down, but the fight on the backside. Clid is dead, but they've managed to pick off Choo Choo. Jungler for AD carry. Korn snared down. He flashes early, but Yagao ready with the slow, ready with the flick. Does he have enough damage? Soul Flink is going to try to get some health back. He dies as RD chases forward, and this fight is chaos. TOP are falling apart.
What a disaster for TOP. They felt really confident. Sure, they got Dragon taken away from them. They found Clid. They were going to be able to take down Clid, and it looked very clear up until Cho gets flash hooked. The moment that happens, it all starts tumbling down. I know we're going to get a look at it later on, but that was beautiful out of the side of Lumao to find that opening and RD to follow up.
And with that, Infernal Dragon taken by Jingdong and a 2-kill advantage plus push pressure in the mid lane. It all starts with a Dragon attempt from TOP.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be on Reddit very soon because Jingdong looked like they were done. This team fight wasn't going to look good. But the fact that Lumao immediately found Ezreal, blew him up, and then chased him down, suddenly the flank looks great because TOP are not in position to fight anymore. So what I was surprised that when it was getting rough, Phage decides, I'm hopping back in. This is looking kind of good. And once again, we're not looking at the replay because the fight is already done. I don't want to see what happens to the Phage. Not at all.
Those 2 kills as he backs away. Clid ganking bottom, immediately leaps on. Forces Phage backdoor in the wrong direction.
Definitely backdoor has a new meaning.
He's protected from the backdoor.
My spine is strong enough.
Still though, 11 minutes in, and Jingdong are trying to up the tempo against TOP. They've got that Infernal Dragon. Though that being said, that was TOP reacting first. That was them taking the initiative in this play.
Yeah, that's why
when the Phage here, that's a cleanse being used.
Oh, that's a lot
turn over the wall, and Phage goes down.
Yeah, and Chocho has got to get out of there. The fact that right now, Jingdong are starting to snowball out of control. Before that kill happened, the entire bottom side, Lumao, RD, Yagao, were all 1-0 and 3 just because the fight looked so good for them. So now they're just focusing this tower. Ezreal's got to sit here forever until the minion wave starts to come up to him. Don't do it.
Look at how unsafe that is. Klid's even being so careful not to clear out that ward and give temporary vision. Lumao just sitting in Tribush. While Zoom holds on to the top lane. Marin's actually holding on to teleport right now. Karin, he's given it up completely. He's on the Rift Herald. Tier 1 will go to JD.
And this is when, as a top laner, your entire plan going into this is to build towards a carry top build towards split pushing. But when the towers on the opposite side of the map start crashing down so
item
quickly,
timings here, though,
before you're
because
even able to get towards start your second item,
extra impetus to dive.
you have to start rethinking
Will
your
Roach
role.
build the Spectre's Cowl that we
Black
almost
Cleaver
always
is a
see
great
against
starting
Vlad.
item for every knock.
Play it here. Gonna take
But then
away the Rakan.
the next item, which I would have thought would be frozen now because
away,
of the
but
situation,
as you
now
mentioned
probably
before,
has to
SKT
be a tank item
doesn't seem to care
because
about
TLP
that. See if
likely
they
have to
focus
play
a band
towards team
towards
fighting
the
to keep
jungle
their
afterwards. They
sign,
can
or at least their
certainly
sense of
lock
like
down
you're
another
alive.
big pick away from Blank and hurt that. Now 12 and a half minutes in, Marin.
As you mentioned,
We'll see what he decides to build
but it's
over the course
here,
of
not
the
the
remainder of the game.
To be
because
happy
like
with
said,
him opting into
TOP
Kog'Maw. They
are
have
down
backline
and
threat from the
behind.
Vladimir.
They are the
who goes
underdogs in
flash
this series. They are
Protobelt,
the worst
get
team
himself
in the
there,
league.
and a Sejuani
Arguably
ban.
one of the
So we're
worst
going to see
teams in
something
LPL
new
history
from
if you
Blank.
take
I'm
into
hoping
account
in this
their
particular
loss
game.
streak
Maybe no on the
just a few
Camille and
weeks
Jax.
ago,
Let's
but
see
that
something
being
different.
said, they
But
found
Jarvan
Val.
was brought back for
Good
the first
play,
time in a
hooked by
long
time,
time
but
yesterday.
he
Hasn't
is
been a pick
so
of the
good.
LCK for
Yeah,
a
this
month,
is the
even though it's been a
TOP
staple
special
of
in
the
game
LPL.
two.
No on the
Just a few
Camille and
weeks
Jax.
ago,
This is
yeah,
something
he's
different.
back
Classic
then,
pick
but at
line
this point in
all
time, if you
junglers
find yourself
in
in
the
a position
LCK. The
a little bit
return of the
desperate,
Jarvan 4.
find a pick. Know that wards are going to be
And he's
something
back.
that Jingdong is going to be
Seems like-
loving to take. Supports are going to be the ones that are being looking for those wards. So just wait for them to place them, or at least know that your control wards are there. You know they're going to clear it. So that's when you should be looking for the fight. It has to be Jingdong that play as a team towards that, recognize that if they're going to clear out a ward, they need to be cognizant of it, ready to TP for it. This is usually where you see LPL teams just all in 5v5 for a ward.
Or all in onto Yagao. Karin looking for the same exact play that he was hunting for a few minutes ago. He's able to follow up and find a kill onto Yagao as TOP find two quick picks. Clid, once again, walking in. Oh, I wish I had somebody squishy to assassinate. Oh, look, a tank, and then has to run away. Rift Herald even being used mid lane with that Talia dead, and they see RD top. They could try to break down this tier 1 here, Rats.
Yeah, it's going to take a long journey for RD to join his team.
Oh, yeah, Zoom, the classic. Whoa! From behind, Rift Herald. I've never seen Rift Herald charge backwards.
I've actually had it on a... Oh, wait a minute. A fight's
Oh,
gonna happen.
that's a fight. Oh, and that's Clid getting the assassination, and they kill the Herald to finish off the turret defense.
You know, for the sake of the advertising, I actually had this on my Place TV. Like, the moment I picked the Scion, the moment the animation starts for Rift Herald, it doesn't stop. It doesn't matter if you toss him to the other world, he's flying back.
The other world?
The other world.
The Sepia world. The
Yes.
world of death. In League of Legends.
The pause world.
Ooh, no. Phage with the cleanse leaps away but gets knocked up. And the mid-tier 1 is taken by Jingdong.
I mean, Jingdong are fighting right now. Even though TOP had that one opportunity and they were looking towards getting that mid lane tower, the fact that they were able to pick a fight, Chocho.
Oh, Clid chases him down. Winter's bite, plus the concussive blows for the stun. The flay, he's got enough. Clid kites it back, steps onto the lantern, goes down to the flash. Winter's bite. Double kill, though, to RD. We're seeing TOP attempt to make plays, but Jingdong are responding, and they are responding correctly.
Yeah, I mean, TOP are doing this because they're behind. TOP are doing this recognizing that there's no other way to come back into the game other than to make this messy. So this is when people are talking about Clown Fiesta. It's a Clown Fiesta based on necessity.
Oh, the hook lands. The box and flay. He flashes, leaps away, ignite. RD, another kill on the Varus.
All right, Zoom, playing that bait. But we have to go way, way back in time.
How back?
To the 50s. When this Rift Herald decided it didn't need eyes to take this tower. But TOP, they were so confident of the fact that this Rift Herald was that strong that they went a little bit too far.
We call that the booty bump.
The play comes through, picks up Jarvan. This is when you need to look towards what range you have on the team, because it shouldn't be Jarvan walking up that closely towards the tower itself.
Infernal Dragon started. Clid once again looking for the steal. He's got flash, but decides to give it up. Too many members of TOP. They take Infernal Dragon, but that's just crumbs. They're 4,000 gold down. And they need more than just a dragon to get themselves back into this game.
They're trying. That's what's great about TOP in this specific game. They're far, far behind. But they're not going to just wait for you to push the waves naturally, play a sweet and like a slow game. They're going to find where you're going to go. Cutting tempo is the name of the game. Your TOP, you recognize they're going to be looking for top lane tower because that's the only outer turret available. They've been looking to pick fights around that. Bottom lane around Dragon, same thing. So TOP are trying to play around Karin, his engage force. Right now he has ulti. I guess he's looking for Zoom.
That's a stun, plus the double knock-up. It's a bounce house for the Scion. Inside of the pen, he can't charge away. Phage happily tanks it up. And an easy kill for TOP, but that's a lot of time bought, and the wave is cleared out. Jingdong still pushing for the tier 2.
Yeah, well worth the trade if you're JD. That being said, they don't have a wave here. Really good job from Marin to thin out the wave, because otherwise that would have been Jingdong flying towards the inhibitor turret.
Looks like we're seeing JD still push up top. They might well fly towards that inhibitor turret, Raz, as the bottom tier 1 finally taken by TOP, but the top tier 2 taken in answer. 4 turrets to 1. TOP, they're trying to make it messy, but Jingdong are sitting there with the big old roll of paper towel just cleaning it up.
Yeah, that's why usually when you see teams get to this point where they are looking for these desperation plays, you want it to be, let's say, 25 minutes into the game. Because at that point, they're at least close to the item break points where they're reasonable in terms of team fighting. But it's 17 minutes into the game. 17 minutes means that, sure, yeah, you're making it harder for Jingdong to look to the next objective. But even if they lose 1 fight, they can lose 3 more before you're actually in a strong enough team fighting position.
It's a threat.
Yeah. So to make this clearer, Chocho doesn't even have his Muramana. He still is building up his tier. He still needs to get towards his Blade of the Rune King. There are a lot of steps from him to be useful at this point in time, being 0 and 3. So these fights are just to stall for time, and they need to stall for a lot of time.
We'll have to see if they get that luxury, because 18.5 minutes in, JD are trying to accelerate. Smite and Flash from Karin doesn't even try to go for the standard over the wall.
Yeah, no Flash on their primary point of engage means that TOP shenanigans are probably going to be stalled. Trying to go for another anti-dive maneuver. If you don't have Flash on Jarvan.
Anti-dive?
Anti-dive
Isn't that
maneuver.
just a survive?
I mean, sure. But they want to get kills off of the surviving. That's going to be hard.
There's a cleanse and the chains of corruption onto Phage. He's able to walk out of it nice and quickly, though.
Look at the wave building up in the bottom lane. Right now, Jingdong have seen that as their form of, say, pressure.
Look, once again, they know Karin has no flash. He's pulled in. They pile their damage, and they get the kill. Weaver's Wall and the flick, a double for RD. 6 kills so far. Marin in the corner. Nobody puts Marin in a corner. He turns around and walks away angrily, but the tier 2 is shattered.
Yeah, he hopped, doesn't even have flash, but you can't follow him, especially with the shield coming down through. But here's the thing. 25 seconds until Baron, and I think that Jingdong are pretty healthy. So if you are now looking across the side of TOP and they don't have a jungler with 10 more seconds, you can look to at least set up for it.
Evolved Void Spikes for Clid to get additional slow and harass. Perhaps opting for a more flanking style once again as the mid wave is defended. Still Zoom is holding on to the minion wave. RD fresh out of base with another recurve bow.
Here's the thing right now.
Here's the thing.
TOP can look to try and rush Baron if they're this desperate. It just popped up. But Jingdong are doing a great enough job in staggering times. That being said, looking at this replay, yeah, no flash on Jarvan. Braum is going to follow. And Marin just hopped, doesn't have flash, doesn't die though. But that's why you have to look ahead, because this play looks great from Jingdong. The Baron is going to be even more impactful. Good job from Jingdong in staggering their recall, so now Sion is backing. Talia is going to be back on the map. And because they did that, Baron is safe. TOP is not going to get it for themselves.
For the time being, at least. But 90 seconds until Mountain Dragon is back up, and already you can see the collection of Jingdong members starting to set up vision.
Yeah, here we go. I mean, this should. If I'm Jingdong, you just kind of have to start it. Just because you have so much pick potential here, you can just go for the fight whenever you want.
That's not it.
Yeah, definitely not
He
it.
found Phage, but that's not the fight.
They might try and play this a little bit more safely by walking into red side jungle. They have a few more control wards. Sion and Kha'Zix does. Sion's on the bottom side of the map, so it's just going to be Kha'Zix wants to place his own.
Oh man, look at what Yagao built there. Rylai's Crystal Scepter. He wants to be even more annoying if he ever hits anyone.
Yeah, strong HP for himself, so he can't get bursted by anybody, honestly. What kind of damage is going to burst him out? It's full support of Karma? Well, it looks like they're going to find out.
Weaver's Wall, once again, they're penned back. Chains of Corruption onto Chocho. He tries to retreat, but again, Karin goes down. Hook pulls Phage in, but they've got their sights set on the AD. Carry pinned and dead. That's the fight.
Yep, that's how easy it is. They were just waiting for Yagao to find a proper time to send the Weaver's Wall. It's just that easy. They were worried for Lu Mao's hooks. They were just kind of pacing their way around that hook range. Completely forgot about the fact that Yagao is going to close the distance.
Now Marin is there. along with Korn and Phage. Baron has been started. Yagao harassing from the side. Marin forced to turn. He flashes, looks for the solo kill, has his ultimate ready. Yagao healed by Mao. The Baron is finished off. Glid with the smite locks it down, and TOP are forced to back.
Marin found his only opportunity trying to go for a fight. They didn't have a smite because Karin was down, so any fight would have been good. Jingdong are not going to present them with that opportunity. Great pick for them in the previous team fight, and it turned into an easy Baron take-up for them.
Pings did go down onto the Mountain Dragon. That could be the next objective, but 22 minutes in, JD with a huge advantage. Looking to close out this series. The team that has only recently found their identity in Glid and Yagao, still growing with RD, and showing that when it counts, they are no slouches against bottom teams.
Yeah, no slouches there. Starting to find real stars in their lineup. And we always have a discussion with this late into the regular season about all-star rookies, I would say. Who's going to be the strongest rookie of the split? Yeah, is it going to be Jackie Love? Is it going to be Knight? Is it going to be Yagao? Yagao's making a very strong case for himself with this series.
Now the siege has begun. Yagao forced to back away as Marin very close to Mega. Flash is ready, but Yagao just pops Mega and kites it out with the Rylai's. Meanwhile, JD 4 versus 3. They break the mid-tier 2. The final tier 2, I might add.
Yeah, they're going to go to the inhib. And that's why both Marin and Karin have to back away from whatever they were trying to do on the Yagao. They thought maybe they can get a pick on him. It was going to take a long time if they were ever on top of him. But they recognized if they ever commit fully to the play with how far Jingdong are in mid lane, they would lose an inhibitor.
Already the cannon minion firing across, but no banner means that they're able to clear it out and hold the line. RD already pushing on that bottom half of the map to just try and set up the split push. They've got teleport, but they don't need it just yet. Yagao with the Weaver's Wall. Might be ready to segment apart TOP. They fall back. Here comes the wave. RD steps forward. Wave is still standing, and RD fires across. The hook goes in between as the wave is cleared out. It's a lot of damage, but the turret's still up.
You may not have a banner or command minion, but that minion is still doing a lot of damage. Really well done to just smite it from the sky. So, yeah, still have the dematerializer to save out that turret for a little bit longer.
Here comes the next wave. Still 70 seconds on the Baron. RD trying to dodge some of this poke. Phage fires across. Cataclysm onto Yagao. He flashes back. They turn onto Karin. They've got damage. Clay pulled to safety. Karin burning down dies. The first casualty of this fight. Perhaps the first casualty of this series. As Zoom continues to chase it forward. Chocho caught by the arrow. RD smells blood in the water and is set to chase it down. Flash hook onto Karin. He cleanses back, but Marin feels himself. He's trying to get the kill. A double kill for RD. Raz, this could be the series here as JD continue to chase a hook on the knock-up again. Triple kill onto RD.
I didn't know Hakuho had free plane tickets over here. Wait a minute. That Thresh is godly. Right now, Lumao had a phenomenal game on Thresh. I say had because this game is well and over.
7 seconds left for Karin. Korn trying to hold it down, but he's 1 versus 5. Tries to clear the minion wave, but Baron buff is still up. It is not enough. The knockup is denied. The dive onto the back line. An extra kill for RD. 10, 0, and 8. Yagao will finally fall, but the Nexus has been shattered. Jingdong win the series 2-1.
You better believe sweat was starting to drop at the side of Jingdong's forehead. They want to be able to go up against Suning and believe they'll take that 4th place spot. They needed to take this set, and they were able to do it finally.
Much closer, I think, than Jingdong would have wanted, but like you said, finally able to close it out 2-1 against TOP. And the fairy tale turnaround, Marin, Karin, and Korn not able to get themselves a 3rd series win here so far.
You gotta watch out for these mines. At this point in time, feels like, yeah, you can call them the worst of the league, and that may be true. But they're still pretty damn good. They're still taking games off VDG. They're still taking games, and you have to be worried. You can't look past them. They were close, but Jingdong still got them in the peripheral, so they were able to finally take this game and look ahead towards Suning.
The e-commerce wars, the battle for the final playoff spot between Jingdong and Suning. Perhaps a preview of what it could be. Happening later this week as TOP make their way backstage. Still, you can hear how passionate the fans are for TOP. This is a team that has gone through some of the greatest trials of the entire league, the longest loss streak in the history of the LPL.
And they came back strong. The moment it was the end of Chinese New Year's, we heard tales, and of course, the confirmation that Marin came through. And they were finding victories, at least game victories, if not set victories. The team is looking better. The team has strength now. And although we're looking towards the summer for this team, the fans are still watching their games, game after game, and cheering them on.
And it certainly shows that emotional support is working for TOP. We're seeing them start to grow just a little bit more and find some of these picks against Jingdong. They were the ones setting the pace throughout the early game, but it was Jingdong reacting correctly, outplaying correctly to turn those plays on their head.
Yeah, 100%, which is a good lesson for Jingdong, of course. They need to learn these lessons now. The best thing about the Eastern Conference is if you're able to get out of, or at least get out of the, I guess, run into playoffs.
Middle of the pack, yeah.
You find yourself into the playoff spot, you've earned it. I mean,
Absolutely.
you really have. The fighting this through and through. Jingdong deserve to be in playoffs, but deserve doesn't necessarily mean you get it because the Eastern Conference is hard and it's unfair.
And not to mention, learning how to adapt and play and react to the early game pressure of a team like TOP could be a bit of a warm-up, could be a bit of a stretch for this team because their next opponents are Suning, the most early game-oriented team in the league, the best early game team in the leagues. They even give IG a run for their money. They took a 2-0 series over Rogue Warriors earlier today.
Yeah, and you know what? If you are... you're Jingdong, you shouldn't feel too bad just because Suning Gaming also went to a 3